Good quotes can change your life. Let's start your day right. Are you ready? A loving heart is the beginning of all knowledge. Thomas Carlyle. Don't flatter yourselves that friendship authorizes you to say disagreeable things to your intimates. On the contrary, the nearer you come into relation with a person, the more necessary do tact and courtesy become. Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. Coming to terms with the fact that my marriage was a failure was devastating and very difficult. Sarah McLachlan. We at Chrysler borrow money the old-fashioned way. We pay it back. Lee Iacocca. Everyone can relate to love, hurt, pain, learning how to forgive, needing to get over, needing the power of God in their life. Tyler Perry. Success is the only motivational factor that a boy with character needs. Woody Hayes. Marriage is such a mark of adulthood in my mind. Mandy Moore. Overhead will eat you alive if not constantly viewed as a parasite to be exterminated. Never mind the bleeding of those you employ. Hold out until mutiny is imminent before employing even a single additional member of staff. More startups are wrecked by overstaffing than by any other cause, bar failure to monitor cash flow. Felix Dennis. The comfortable estate of widowhood is the only hope that keeps up a wife's spirits. John Gay. Learning is finding out what you already know. Richard Bach. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams, and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Henry David Thoreau. I don't need to go onto Facebook and pretend to have friends I've never even met. To my mind, that kind of destroys the meaning of the word, friend. I take exception to that. Because I value and respect friendship. Stephanie Powers. As far as luxury goes, about the only thing I do is I go first class all the way. I live on the road, so when I'm out there, I'm getting the nice hotel suite. I'm getting the luxury car. I'm eating the good food, and I make sure I take care of myself on the road. Trish Stratus. If it's a good work of adaptation, the book should remain a book and the film should remain a film, and you should not necessarily read the book to see the film. If you do need that, then that means that it's a failure. That is what I think. Marjane Satrapi. People are more comfortable learning about wine because now they can just Google, Sauv, and say, oh, okay, cool. Gary Vaynerchuk. What the world really needs is more love and less paperwork. Pearl Bailey. Marriage, for a woman at least, hampers the two things that made life to me glorious, friendship and learning. Jane Harrison. The hardest of all is learning to be a well of affection, and not a fountain. To show them we love them not when we feel like it, but when they do. Nan Fairbrother. I don't think men are that attracted by glamour. I think women are attracted by glamour. I think men are attracted by a sense of friendship. Joanna Lumley. I have long enjoyed the friendship and companionship of Republicans because I am by instinct a teacher, and I would like to teach them something. Woodrow Wilson. It doesn't matter whether you are pursuing success in business, sports, the arts, or life in general. The bridge between wishing and accomplishing is discipline. Harvey Mackay. I am very, very strict with my workout regimen. Not so much with my food, because I'm always working out, so I can allow myself to be a bit more naughty. Barbara Fiallo. In a deeply tribal sense, we love our monsters, and I think that is the key to it right there. It is monsters, it is learning about them, it is both thrill and safety. You can think of them without being desperately afraid because they are not going to come into your living room and eat you. That is, Jaws. Peter Benchley. When you dance together, there's a fabulous interaction. It's quite intimate. You're touching your partner, leading them. Learning how to behave in that person's proximity is a skill. I love it. I can't imagine tiring of it. Anton du Beek. Rare as true love, true friendship is rarer. Jean de La Fontaine. In Citizens United vs. FEC, the Supreme Court ruled that sections of the federal campaign finance law known as McCain-Feingold imposed unconstitutional restrictions on the First Amendment rights of corporations. Eric Schneiderman. You and I come by road or rail, but economists travel on infrastructure. Margaret Thatcher. The purpose of a moral philosophy is not to look delightfully strange and counterintuitive or to provide employment to bioethicists. The purpose is to guide our choices toward life, health, beauty, happiness, fun, laughter, challenge, and learning. Eliezer Yudkowsky. Around the time I graduated from high school, I decided better to underachieve and have friendship than to overachieve and be alone. Evangeline Lilly. I spent a college semester in a small town in Italy, and that is where I truly tasted food for the first time. Alton Brown. Sometimes we never see what failure is and often fail to recognize it. Naveen Jain. Daddy was real gentle with kids. That's why I expected so much out of marriage, figuring that all men should be steady and pleasant. Loretta Lynn. I had more energy at 50. On the other hand, at 75, I've probably got a little more wisdom and good judgment than I had at 50 because I've got more experience. But I haven't really changed. I'm still driven by the same philosophy. Ted Turner. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? Albert Einstein. I support gay marriage. I believe they have a right to be as miserable as the rest of us. Kinky Friedman. If you have the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate the moment until it's past. Kanye West. Of course, third world leaders love you. By ascribing third world ills to first world sins, you absolve them of blame for their country's failure to advance. John McCarthy. I have never denied my background or my culture. I have taught my child to embrace her Mexican heritage, to love my first language, Spanish, to learn about Mexican history, music, folk art, food, and even the Mexican candy I grew up with. Salma Hayek. The way I see it, love is an amusement park, and food its souvenir. Stephanie Klein. Often the magical elements in my books are standing in for elements of the real world. The small and magical in their own right sorts of things that we take for granted and no longer pay attention to, like the bonds of friendship that entwine our own lives with those of other people and places. Charles de Lint. Of all the things which wisdom provides to make us entirely happy, much the greatest is the possession of friendship. Epicurus. I was never against marriage per se. Before feminism, I didn't think you had any choice. In fact, for a long time I always assumed I would get married. I just didn't see any marriages I wanted to emulate, so I kept putting it off. Gloria Steinem. I'm learning all the time. I'm evolving all the time as a human being. I'm getting better, I hope, in all of the important ways. Neil Peart. It will give them the opportunity to show themselves worthy of the respect and friendship of peace-loving nations, and in time, to take an honorable place among members of the United Nations. James F. Burns. I don't turn to greeting cards for wisdom and advice, but they are a fine reflection of the general drift of the culture. Susan Orlean. We should regret our mistakes and learn from them, but never carry them forward into the future with us. Lucy Maud Montgomery. Most vegetarians look so much like the food they eat that they can be classified as cannibals. Finley Peter Dunne. Failure is a word unknown to me. Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Some wisdom you must learn from one who's wise. Euripides. The difference between chirping out of turn and a faux pas depends on what kind of a bar you're in. Wilson Misner. For small creatures such as we, the vastness is bearable only through love. Carl Sagan. When people say, marriage, to me, it's always a means to an end. Everyone's so in a rush to define the relationship. Lady Gaga. Success makes men rigid and they tend to exalt stability over all the other virtues. Tired of the effort of willing, they become fanatics about conservatism. Walter Lippmann. Virtue comes by nature, learning, and practice, and thanks to virtue, all of the aforesaid may deserve approval. Apollonius of Tyana. People think your success is just a matter of having a pretty face. But it's easy to be chewed up and spat out. You've got to stay ahead of the game to be able to stay in it. Kate Moss. Every day is a new opportunity. You can build on yesterday's success or put its failures behind and start over again. That's the way life is, with a new game every day, and that's the way baseball is. Bob Feller. Food brings people together on many different levels. It's nourishment of the soul and body, it's truly love. Giada De Laurentiis. And we want to develop our strategy to partnership and friendship with the United States, which is connected with a very rich history but what is very important for our future. Alexander Kwasniewski. Every kid has a toy that they believe is their best friend, that they believe communicates with them, and they imagine it being alive, their toy horse or car or whatever it is. Stop motion is the only medium where we literally can make a toy come to life, an actual object. Henry Selick. How marriage ruins a man. It is as demoralizing as cigarettes, and far more expensive. Oscar Wilde. The wisdom of the wise, and the experience of ages, may be preserved by quotation. Isaac Disraeli. In tennis, it is not the opponent you fear, It is the failure itself. Knowing how near you were but just out of reach. Andy Murray. Spending only what the country can afford, rewarding savings, encouraging independence, supporting marriage. People know that these things are common sense. William Hague. Each one of us decides to incarnate upon this planet at a particular point in time and space. We have chosen to come here to learn a particular lesson that will advance us upon our spiritual, evolutionary pathway. Louise L. Hay. A real friend is one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out. Walter Winchell. It's a wonderful time when you sit down around the table for dinner and discuss life. No matter where you are, it gives the semblance of normalcy to my crazy world. Melina Kanakaridis. No one has a monopoly on truth, and science continues to advance. Yesterday's heresies may be tomorrow's conventional wisdom. Dean Ornish. I'm a forgiver. I might not forget, but I forgive. My mother, father and older brother always told me, don't hold grudges. If you do that, you don't lower yourself down to your adversary. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. I honestly think that's why I was able to survive and have some success. Monty Irvin. When you look at death, it makes you understand the importance of the moment when you have life and death in front of you, and you witness seeing someone deteriorating in front of you. It's an overwhelming experience. If you don't learn from that, I don't know what else you're gonna learn. Mickalene Thomas. No matter if you win or lose, the most important thing in life is to enjoy what you have. Dong Dong. Love is that splendid triggering of human vitality, the supreme activity which nature affords anyone for going out of himself towards someone else. Jose Ortega y Gasset. I enjoy being happy every day, and hopefully you can hear my happiness in my music. Life is beautiful. Christina Milian. Life is anything that dies when you stomp on it. Dave Barry. Public opinion is no more than this. What people think that other people think. Alfred Austin. Climate change joined immigration, job creation, food safety, pilot training, veterans care, campaign finance, transportation security, labor law, mine safety, wildfire management, and scores of executive and judicial appointments on the list of matters that the world's greatest deliberative body is incapable of addressing. George Packer. We all learn lessons in life. Some stick, some don't. I have always learned more from rejection and failure than from acceptance and success. Henry Rollins. By definition, the singularity means that machines would be smarter than us, and, in their wisdom, they can innovate new technologies. The innovations would come so quickly, and increasingly quickly, that the innovation would make Moore's law seem as antiquated as Hammurabi's code. Marvin Emory. Love is the attempt to form a friendship inspired by beauty. Marcus Tullius Cicero. Obscenity, which is ever blasphemy against the divine beauty in life, is a monster for which the corruption of society forever brings forth new food, which it devours in secret. Percy Bysshe Shelley. I learned that leadership is about falling in love with the people and the people falling in love with you. It is about serving the people with selflessness, with sacrifice, and with the need to put the common good ahead of personal interests. Joyce Banda. When you cut human beings down to size, we're really quite simple creatures. Food, shelter, warmth, light, heat, and you build it up from there really until you finally go Gucci shoes or whatever it is or whatever your consumer desires are. All those desires are ultimately, they're about gratification. Bruce Dickinson. From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life. Arthur Ashe. Dare, dream, dance, smile, and sing loudly. And have faith that love is an unstoppable force. Suzanne Brockman. There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Nelson Mandela. The cognitive skills prized by the American educational establishment and measured by achievement tests are only part of what is required for success in life. Character skills are equally important determinants of wages, education, health, and many other significant aspects of flourishing lives. James Heckman. An ambitious, surreal tale of the love between a young Arab girl sold into marriage and the orphan boy she adopts, Habibi, spans multiple eras of conflict and change, stretching the lifetimes of its two protagonists over many centuries. G. Willow Wilson. Sports teaches you character, it teaches you to play by the rules. It teaches you to know what it feels like to win and lose. It teaches you about life. Billie Jean King. I won't eat any cereal that doesn't turn the milk purple. Bill Watterson. What wisdom can you find that is greater than kindness? Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Many a good hanging prevents a bad marriage. William Shakespeare. Mr. Gonzalez's failure to respond to questions legitimately posed to him by the Senate raises grave doubts in my mind as to his fitness to serve the people of the United States as their Attorney General. Daniel Inouye. In the matter of learning, the difference between the earnest and the careless student stands out clearly. The same holds true in the mastering of passion and the weaknesses to which our nature is subject, as in the acquiring of virtue. Saint Ignatius. We are taught to consume. And that's what we do. But if we realized that there really is no reason to consume, that it's just a mindset, that it's just an addiction, then we wouldn't be out there stepping on people's hands climbing the corporate ladder of success. River Phoenix. I'm doing Rock of Ages one day, making out with Russell Brand. Soon after that, I'm advocating with Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Cynthia Nixon for marriage equality. Alec Baldwin. My favorite comfort food would have be braised beef. You know, beef, slow cooked in a Dutch oven or in a slow cooker until it falls apart with simple mushrooms, some onions and lots of fresh thyme and garlic. Tyler Florence. I should only look back at moments that were disparaging, looked down upon, negative for me, moments where I could learn something. And if I have been able to use that learning in future, then I am happy about it. Amitabh Bachchan. I think it's nice to age gracefully. Okay, you lose the youth, a certain stamina and dewy glow. But what you gain on the inside as a human being is wonderful. The wisdom, the acceptance, and the peace of mind. It's a fair exchange. Cherie Lungi. I fear that our true motivation is about oil and our own flailing economy, about the failure to destroy Al-Qaeda and about revenge. Dave Matthews. No one is the same, and we all have different life experiences. It's not my place to judge them or for them to judge me. We should all be accountable for our own lives. Joanna Krupa. The countries who do the best in international comparisons, whether it's Finland or Japan, Denmark or Singapore, do well because they have professional teachers who are respected, and they also have family and community which support learning. Howard Gardner.